Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah, we're looking this way. I forgot. Hey there, you're watching North of Weatherfield, or listening to it. North of Weatherfield, the Canadian Coronation Street podcast. My name is Brittlestar.
I'm Shannon.
These aren't our real names, of course. And this week, I'm going to be Adam Barlow.
You're already him.
I'm doing it again. Because he's getting stuff going on. You can see it, sense it building.
I'm going to be Sally Webster. Sally Metcalf. I'm just going to purse my lips and look at you disapprovingly all the time.
So no change.
And I'm going to go sit in she doesn't call it a sunroom. What's it called? Conservatory. Go sit in the conservatory.
For those of you watching, if I have little bits of hair and you're watching in high definition on my forehead, it's because I just got a haircut. For those of you at home, this is what it sounds like.
Oh dear.
That's it. So yes, what are we talking about? What's the dates we're talking about?
So we are talking about the Coronation Street episodes that aired in Canada between February 26th and March 1st.
Amazing.
So if you haven't watched those episodes and you plan on doing so, this is not the time to watch or listen, because we are going to be talking about loads of stuff that happened.
Are we going to play it now? The theme?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you remember when you were away and you couldn't hear the theme song and you didn't trust me when I said, I'll come in?
I know.
When
I just had to guess.
You didn't. You had to just wait.
It was terrifying.
So we are going to be talking about the following.
Yes.
People.
Yes.
Or peoples.
I'm ready now. I'm looking
Simon.
at the camera. Simon. Yes.
Bethany. Tracy, Tommy, and Steve. Adam, Damon, and Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
And Joel.
Yeah.
Who's Dee Dee's boyfriend.
Who's stepping up a little bit in the storylines.
Yep.
He's got a good look.
He was, to me, the most interesting of the storylines this week.
The most interesting of the storylines this week?
Second most interesting after Bethany.
Oh, Bethany. Listen, Bethany took it once again. I think she's 27 in real life, so I don't feel so bad.
And we did find out this week that Sarah is 37, which means Bethany must be supposed to be about 23, 24.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she was only 19 when Daniel first snogged her when his wife was dying in the other room.
There's nothing wrong with that, apart from your wife dying in the other room, which makes it a little morally ambiguous.
So let's go start with Simon.
Okay, Simon, yeah.
So Simon, Peter scuttled the plans that he had falsely, foolishly, uncaringly promised him the week before.
Yeah.
Simon's going down, spiraling down.
Yeah.
Leanne knows Peter's no good. And the good thing was that Carla, for all that she is not keeping in any contact with Peter, I think she finally realized this week that, oh no, Simon didn't decide not to go. Peter just let him down once again. So Simon is spiraling. He's drinking more. Mm-hmm. He's binge drinking all the time. He's missing work. Mm-hmm. He's showing up for work at the bistro. Leanne and Nick nicely gave him a job.
Yeah.
And he's showing up hungover, late, calling in sick when he's boozing. All sort of culminates in he goes to the Rovers one afternoon.
Right.
Drinking. Mm-hmm. To be fair, Daisy tries to be good and says, Simon, I think you should have a glass of water, or maybe a hot pot.
Yeah.
And have a glass of water. And he says, no, I want another beer. And Jenny says, now, Daisy, don't you go putting off our customers if they would like to have another pint. Maybe you need a hot pot to soak that up.
She didn't say those words exactly, but that was the look she gave.
It sort of feels like it was goes against everything they probably teach you in the regulating part of selling alcohol.
Yes. Yeah.
So he passes out / falls asleep in the Rovers.
I mean, to be fair, who amongst us hasn't fallen asleep at a pub? You've never fallen asleep at a pub?
No.
Really?
Yeah, just go home.
But you've never been like, oh, I think I just nodded off there. I better go home.
No.
No?
No. I like my going home time.
Me neither.
Leanne had to get called to come and get him. She wasn't happy the next day, but Leanne, for some reason, is sort of covering for him in front of Nick.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't tell Nick that she had to go carry him out of the Rovers.
Yeah.
She covered for him, saying he had a bit of a dodgy tummy with something he'd eaten the next day. That was why he wasn't coming into work.
Right.
So I'm not quite sure why she's covering for him quite so much.
Can I give my theory?
You can.
Was Leanne? She was party to Peter's alcoholism, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe there's something to be said there for the person who's like the partner or the carer of the person with alcoholism, who automatically your first instinct is to cover for them.
Right. So it's not a conscious decision.
No, it's just like I'm going to make this smoother and politer.
Right.
We'll just cover for you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, Simon does try to get a bit of a grip on it all.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay, I'm not feeling good. I'm not going to be drinking as much. And then Bobby is like, let's have some kind of midweek party. And now suddenly Summer is involved in this, and Amy somehow.
Yeah, I don't know how when they were sitting together in the cafe in Roy's Rolls, I was like, why are they sitting together?
I know, it feels like
when was their introduction?
I think it's we're between 18 and 25.
Because Summer doesn't work at the factory, does she?
Nope.
So how did they ever connect?
I don't know.
Was it because of her stupid blouse?
That top made you angry. It looked like one of Leanne's ones with
I didn't like it.
Is it, what do you call them? Not peplum sleeves. The little,
pirate sleeves.
So he said, nope, not going to have anything. And then Bobby pressured him into it. Bobby's making some kind of weird punches and
haymaker.
And then he pulls Simon into the whole thing. Simon drinks a bit. And then when the party is over an hour later, everyone goes home. Bobby goes to go to sleep and Simon lays into the rest of the beer.
Yeah.
So he tried to make the effort, didn't succeed, and then
temptation took
went
him
off
down.
on his own again.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't helping Bobby's case.
No. And I think, I've been reading the comments in the podcast here on Substack, and we appreciate the comments, by the way. But I think everyone is on the same page with Bobby.
They're just hoping
that come on, turn this character around.
Yeah, let's hurry up and figure out why the heck he's here.
Because I don't understand. I think what's going to happen with him, he's going to have a dark story. Because he's so glib and happy.
You mean a darker story than growing up not knowing his father, who didn't know he existed, plus was in jail, and his mother married someone else who kicked him out of the house?
Yeah, like none of that fun stuff. Yeah.
All right.
But Simon in general, I do have to say that the Simon, the actor who plays Simon, I'm respecting more because now it's getting a bit more nuanced.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes. He's not just always,
not just cartoonishly angry and like looking through his curly hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I like it.
All right.
I hope he gets better.
So why is Bethany so evil? Because we're talking about Bethany next.
Listen, Bethany's not evil. She's just a young woman, perfectly fine to be admired young woman,
using others
who is
for
trying
selfish
to make
purposes, all to make 150 pounds.
She's trying to make her way in the world. It's a big, mean world, Shannon, and especially for women who have dark eyebrows and blonde hair.
I think that's a lot of women in the UK.
Well, exactly. So it should be much easier for her.
Can I have a sip of your water, please? Because I can feel a little tickle happening. And
that's me. You can't see one of my hands.
What?
I was trying to say that I was tickling you.
Oh. Okay. So Bethany, she's in overdraft, has no work. Her great writing career I like to think that she wrote for, what's that one that shut down recently that was getting lots of free people writing stuff for free?
Huffington Post.
No, but the other one, but like that. Exactly.
Okay.
I like to think that she thought the world was at her feet because she was writing HuffPost articles.
Right. As well. Yeah.
And that is now ended.
Yeah.
So she got a meeting with a woman from the Gazette.
Yeah.
Who's like, listen, no one's hiring journalists
Listen,
anymore.
We are not even a citywide newspaper.
We are the Weatherfield Gazette.
We are like the penny saver for this area of Salford.
And she's like, who's always looking for short articles? Chit Chat.
Chit Chat.
And Bethany was like, ugh, my great-gran reads Chit Chat.
Yeah,
And
well,
you think, oh, is your great-gran 120? Oh, no, because it's the Platt family. Great-gran is like, I don't know, 80.
60.
And then she decides she needs money.
Yeah.
So she's going to do it. But the only reason that she decides she's going to do it is why? Because she gets an idea for a story, which is
the whole catfish with Ryan and Daisy thing.
So basically, she had no interest in doing these articles until she heard that Daisy might be the bad guy in them. And now she's like, this is where I'm going to invest my time.
Again, let's not be so hasty to judge.
I'm not being hasty. I'm quite rightly.
I don't know why I was sticking up for her so much.
Not defending her, having a go at her.
Yeah.
So she's asking everyone what happened with the catfishing. And I do like that a lot of the people were like, oh, I know there's something weird going on, but I don't know quite what it was. Because in real life, that would be the case. Not everybody knows what rolled out, what unfurled in every storyline.
Exactly, yeah.
But anyone who did know wouldn't talk. Daniel wouldn't talk.
No.
People defending Daisy wouldn't talk.
Which is a quick aside here. I think one of the things I find funny about Coronation Street is that there'll be weird combinations of like Bobby and Summer who just are suddenly sitting together, hanging out, planning parties, which is weird. Because like, but she's like, I got parties. Yeah, I come on over for a party. She should be like, who the hell are you?
Yeah.
So I find that weird. But then I also occasionally like it how certain characters will be oblivious to what's going on.
Yes.
Which is great.
Yes.
Because that's more like real life.
Yes.
People are oblivious.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Did you just point at me?
Yes. So then she finds out through someone else that Lauren lived with Ryan as platonic flatmates for a while.
Yeah.
And so she decides to target Lauren. Poor Lauren. Who's trying to turn her life around.
She is. She's her own worst enemy, but she is.
Knock after knock after knock.
I agree.
And so she says, I'll step in and tutor you since Daniel can't.
Yeah.
And actually, instead of tutoring you, I'm mostly just going to press record on my phone and ask you all about the catfishing thing.
Yeah.
So poor Lauren betrays Daniel's trust, Ryan's trust, everybody's trust.
Yeah. But she thinks she's doing it because she's got a mate, a friend, a pal.
Exactly. A mentor.
Yeah. Because she has dark eyebrows too, doesn't she? Lauren.
I think
blonde hair and dark eyebrows.
Probably.
Yeah. It's a sisterhood.
So she just used her like as a piece of paper to crumple up and throw away in the trash.
Which made it difficult but not impossible for me to think that she was still cute.
You're not a good judge of character. All right. Next up, probably the most dramatic, but whatever storyline, Tracy, Tommy and Steve.
Oh,
so Tracy and Tommy Orpington. Decide that they're going to actually have that snog after all.
This is too close to home.
And then it's not close to home at all.
It is close to home.
Why? Who were you snogging?
I wasn't snogging anybody. You were snogging the mailman in that dream I had 2 weeks ago.
We're not talking about this 2 weeks in a row.
We haven't resolved it because you haven't apologized for that yet. I woke up. I told you what you did in my dream.
No. So.
Okay, fine.
Right now, I'm on Tracy's side, Steve.
I think it's important for the listeners to understand.
I'm on Tracy's side right now, Steve.
Wait a minute, you're on Tracy's side? That's even worse.
Because Steve was probably doing this, is what I'm saying.
Oh, well, I think we can talk about what Steve was trying to do when he came back from France.
So let's start first of all.
All right.
Tracy and Tommy slept together.
Yeah.
Both agreed. It's a one-off. We're not doing this again.
Right.
I think Tommy was a little bit put out that Tracy was like, yeah, and whatever.
Yeah.
He was like, no, you should probably want to do it with me more than that and really, hang on to my
tone
coattails.
Of admiration if you have for Tracy the voice.
And she's like, no, whatever, we're all good. And then they continue being flirty with each other.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to work with Sally and Tim. Every time she sees him in the pub, being all flirty.
Yeah.
And then they sort of decide, oh, you know what? Let's actually just nip into the flower shop and lock the door and put the close sign on. And I thought they were going to the back room, but I think they were more just like behind the counter.
Which is weird.
Anyway, Steve arrives home a day early.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously texts don't work from Paris.
No, they can't.
He couldn't.
They're geo-blocked.
Yes, couldn't say anything about him coming home. comes home. Ken's there. Amy's there.
Mm-hmm.
He's laying out this romantic meal for Tracy.
Yeah.
Baguette, fromage,
Tomatoes.
tomate.
Exactly.
And then he goes to look for Tracy in the flower shop.
Mm-hmm.
Not answering the door. Not
Right.
answering the door. Eventually, they realize he's not going to go away.
It's not going away.
And he's convinced she's in there. And so they're like, he's going to break the door down.
Yeah.
So Tracy pops up, opens the door. And at first we think Steve's all suspicious.
Yes.
And then Tommy appears and says, oh, there's something you should know.
Yeah.
And he seems all suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
And then we come back from commercial break. And what does he need to know?
That he put in a cabinet as well or something.
That he fixed the cabinet.
Yeah. Fix the cabinet.
Anyways, so Steve, in good old Steve mode, quickly switches his date plans to being with both Tracy and Tommy. And Tommy goes along with it. He's like, do you like cheese? And Tommy's like, I like cheese.
Poor Steve.
Comes back. Tracy bows out because she's like, this is weird.
Yeah.
And Steve and Tommy continue to have a lovely evening.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy has no guilt.
No, but I do like to think that Tommy Orpington is living in his own personal hell because he's surrounded by people who still idolize him and worship him.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just a dude. He's just a guy who has to like get jobs and
He's had to start a painting decorating
business, and he's getting takeaway
takeaway
meals and stuff.
Why isn't he just going to coaching?
Listen, if it was that easy, Shannon, I'd be a coach.
You don't play professional football.
Well, I could learn though.
So here's what I think is going to be the interesting part of this storyline.
Okay.
Because so far it's like, we're just going to have them like trying to sneak away every once in a while. Tracy said to Tommy,
Mm-hmm.
have you never had any kids? Why not? And he said, I can't have kids. So here's the problem.
Okay.
Here's the danger. Here's what I foresee.
Yeah.
Tommy thinks he can't have kids.
Yes.
Tracy always thought she couldn't have kids.
Oh no.
Because of her kidney transplant?
Yeah.
Missing? I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something before I started watching.
Yeah.
And
Someone
then,
will mention in the comments. Like,
yes,
can't you remember that?
I know. It was before I started watching. So Tracy accidentally got pregnant with Amy,
Mm-hmm.
not thinking she could ever get pregnant.
So you think...
I think we're going to have a surprise on both sides. Orpington Barlow baby.
How old do we think Tracy's supposed to be? You think she's like 40 something?
I think she's maybe not 40.
You think she's maybe not 40?
Yeah.
I think she's 45 at least.
Well,
I mean, it's still there. It's the
Yeah.
possibility still there.
That's what I'm throwing out there. That's what I'm throwing out there. Because both of them would think, everything's fine. I don't need
that'd
to
be
worry.
devastating.
I know.
That'd be terrible. After what Steve's gone through, he had a baby with somebody else, with Leanne. Remember? It
Yeah.
was unexpected. That was sad.
Yeah. And then he had Emma. That was unexpected.
That was unexpected.
Yeah,
a lot
Amy,
of things.
That was unexpected. A lot of stuff in Steve's life
is unexpected.
Steve might be the problem.
He might be the problem, but let's not. I still think that Tracy's she's showing her true colors.
I agree.
You know?
Yep. All right. Adam, Damon, and Harvey.
Yeah.
So
I just want to say that it's great to see Adam's hair right before it turns into a bad haircut.
I know he's got good hair this week, and it's not going to.
But with each little scene you see him and you're like, we're getting close to the tipping point.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have to go through a few episodes where it's questionable.
Our son was watching with us as we did catch up because we were late because you were away. We had to catch up on the episodes. And he's like, he has great hair. And we were like, he does this week.
Yeah. It's true.
So Damon's getting all cozy with Sarah, with Harry.
Yeah.
The family in general. Adam is not happy about this, understandably. So Adam's like, okay. And Sarah is also like, you have to get your stuff out of the flat. And he's like, we have to talk about the flat. So they arrange to talk. Adam's like, I want to sell the flat. Sarah's like, I don't want to sell the flat.
Right.
This is Harry's home. And I appreciate that Adam kept saying, yeah, it was my home as well until like 3 weeks ago.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So Sarah doesn't want to sell. She can't afford to buy Adam out.
No.
Her solution seems to be just keep going and we'll pretend it's not an issue.
Yeah, just pretend everything's fine.
But then she said, well, Damon's going to take over paying your part of the mortgage. It's not rent.
So you can't just take over someone's mortgage.
Well, I mean, you can if you're really lucky.
You've got to compensate the person.
If you're really lucky, someone says you can take over my mortgage.
Adam should know that as a lawyer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Adam said no to that. But like in Sarah's mind, it's just rent.
Yeah. Well, listen, no one's accused Sarah of being that bright ever.
Yeah. And so Adam has decided, okay, I have to get back on trying to get Harvey
out.
To get out of jail, which means he's going to take Damon out for me, have Damon taken out for me. So he comes up with a plan for an appeal that he could launch. So as a reminder, because I had to refresh my memory on this when I was listening to this week, and then I remembered. So Harvey accidentally killed Natasha, Sam's mom, Nick's ex.
Yes.
Thinking that she was Leanne. Because he was trying to kill Leanne because Leanne was trying to extricate Simon from Harvey's drug running world.
And she was going to put Harvey in it.
And she was going to drop Harvey in it.
Yeah.
So he was trying to kill Leanne, accidentally killed Natasha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's a reminder on why Sam's an orphan, why Harvey's in jail.
Yes.
And you're not even going to help me with this.
I don't know where you're going now.
Right. So Adam decides, Adam decides he's going to use Dee Dee's America knowledge and try to use gunshot evidence. Because in the UK, they don't have a lot of gun crime trials that happen because they don't have a lot of guns.
I see that. Accurate,
So they definitely wouldn't have these iffy sciences like gunshot residue and splatters and all that kind of thing. So this is what he's planning on doing. And Harvey's like, Adam's like, I don't think this is all going to work. Maybe it will. It'll be enough grounds for an appeal. Will you get off? I don't know. Harvey's like, that's not good enough.
Right.
We need an answer. We need someone to take the fall.
Well, yeah, that's what they said. Because Adam said, we need someone to have actually done the shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And then
they come up with the idea of my mate, John, Harvey's mate, John.
I'm glad you remember that name. I didn't remember his name.
I know. I was quite pleased with myself, considering how long it took me to remember Joel, who is terminal.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm going to cop to it.
Yeah.
And Adam had a really hard time understanding this. I mean, myself, I'm thinking if someone tells you, like, it seemed like he didn't have long to go, but then they were talking 2 years. But Adam's like, why would you do it? And it's like, I don't know, because they're probably going to give his wife
billions of dollars,
a lot of money, so that she can actually exist.
Yeah. There's obviously big money at play.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Adam's getting cold feet because that's too much for him.
It's because he's crossing a lot of lines.
Yeah. Now, so here's the question. At any point does Adam go, what the heck am I doing? Why am I trying to kill Damon when I'm going to end up with a whole bunch of other people in trouble? Is he so focused on getting back at Damon? Mm-hmm. Is he just going to just keep finding a different way to do it? Or is he going to back off?
I think he's going to back off, but it's going to be at a point where he's going to suffer some consequence for it as well. Because I think he's hyper focused on just the solution of getting what he sees as a solution of getting Damon out of the way.
And then he thinks he's just back in there with Sarah and
he
Harry.
says, oh, well, we're just back. Everything will just go back to normal. Yeah. Well, that's not how things work, Adam.
I'll take the payments back on for the mortgage.
Exactly.
For the flat.
I'll get a new haircut. I'll move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now here's to me one of the most interesting storylines this week.
Okay. I mean,
Joel.
Yes, Joel, which I thought his name was Job for a while.
And then it's like, that's Arrested Development.
Yeah. Different show.
Yeah. So Joel is Dee Dee's newish boyfriend, probably like a month or two. He's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer
as well.
Yeah. Seems like a nice guy.
Seems like a nice guy. Mm-hmm. Good looking guy.
Yeah.
Thoughtful guy. Mm-hmm. Been very good with Edison and all of his gambling issues. And he's was trying to sort of in a gentlemanly like way, help him not be embarrassed about it all.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
So Dee Dee can't make a meeting. Sudden thing pops up on her phone. Oh, I was supposed to meet this client. Totally forgot about it. And I have to get all of this work prepped for court.
Right.
And Joel's like, can't Adam or Alia take it?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, they can't. They're doing other things. And then Joel says, I'll take it for you. So first of all,
Weird.
if I've contacted a lawyer, especially if as a woman, I've contacted
Another woman
lawyer,
Yeah.
just having a woman of color lawyer,
Yeah.
just having some white guy show up.
Some
It's
white
like, maybe
dude show
this
up.
isn't the vibe I was like, this
Yeah.
isn't
Yeah.
what I feel comfortable with. Anyways,
Good use of vibe, by the way.
thank you. Also thought it was a weird choice because he doesn't work for her firm.
Right.
So he shows up, he's conducting the meeting. And while they're talking, because they're in the bistro, because of course the law
That's
office
where you go.
is,
Yeah.
the law
Still-
office is
still
still
flooded.
underwater
Yeah.
or something.
That second floor office is still flooded somehow.
And then a woman appears and she comes up and Joel is obviously quite freaked out.
Yeah.
Stops listening to the client, potential client.
Yeah.
And he says, and I was trying to remember what he said. Did he say, I'm taking care of it to her?
Yeah. It was
As
it
a
was
way to
something-
try to make her go away?
It was something to the effect of that I'll take care of it or I'm taking care of it or whatever. Yeah.
And she goes away, but then in the meantime, the client's like, forget this. I'm out
out.
of here.
Yeah.
You're not paying attention. And this was
Yeah.
already not starting off well anyways, presumably.
Yeah.
And then he gets a phone call from the woman later and we see her name is Emily and he picks up the phone and is talking to her. And again, agitation. I'll take care of it. So here's what we're going to end on.
Okay.
Who is Emily?
Well, I mean, the first thing that seems like an obvious choice would be that she's a former partner, right? Like meaning like a romantic partner.
Okay.
Maybe she's a former business partner, like law partner.
Okay.
What do you know? What do you think it is
Well,
then?
I don't have a right answer.
Well,
I'm
what's your
wondering
answer?
who you think she is.
That's who I think she is. I think there's a good chance that the obvious choice is that she's a former romantic partner. The slightly less obvious choice is that she's a former business partner.
I would also like to point out how fun it is to watch a soap with someone who doesn't ever watch soaps, with Owen watching with us.
It was, yes.
And oddly, some of Steve and Sarah and Audrey, he recognized from over the years being on the television.
Just from being on the television. Yes.
But he thought he was getting a handle on who Joel was. And then this woman showed up and he's like, who the hell's that woman? And we were like, we don't know. And he was like, oh.
Then he was locked in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think.
So stay tuned for Owen's segment next week called Hot Cobbles. Hot takes from the street.
I think it's business related.
Okay.
Note that Joel is a lawyer who seemed to be respected, but he's always not working, always in the flat with Dee Dee, which is her office, meaning it's business hours.
Yeah.
Never seems to be going to court. Never seems to have to do much work. I think he is not at all what we think he is.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think that this is a former business partner.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. All right. That's good. That's good. I like it.
That's all I've got.
That was pretty good. So we did a pretty good catch up and we're going to have to try to get back on schedule.
Yes.
And then it'll all go to hell again soon.
Nope.
It won't?
Not for another 3 weeks.
2 and a bit weeks.
Yeah. So sorry, this week's was late. So I was taking someone to an appointment yesterday. And while I was waiting, a woman came up to me and she said, is your name Shannon? And I said, yes. And she said, I was watching the Coronation Street podcast. And Sharon said to me, I was all excited. I'm all excited. I'm going to go home and sit and watch the new episode.
But it wasn't ready yet for Sharon.
And I said, there isn't one. We're behind. She said, I just saw something on Facebook. And I said, so did I. I don't know what he's put out there, but we
just
don't have
clips,
an episode.
Just to taunt.
Yeah.
Just to get people signed up so they get the notification right away. You know, you go.
She did say that she didn't get a email about it. So she was wondering what was going on.
Exactly. So, well, don't you worry, Sharon. In mere moments from now, you'll have an email.
So go to the Substack link. Subscribe. I don't know what it is.
northofweatherfield.substack.com.
And if you subscribe, it's free. And if you subscribe, then you can comment.
Exactly.
As well. And it's good because people are really good at
tons of comments.
Filling in all of the holes.
Yeah, and there's lots of people getting in the comments there and chatting and stuff. It's really fun.
Because as Canadians, it's too dangerous to Google a storyline trying to remember what happened because you can accidentally see in the future.
I know. So, yeah. And it's been difficult. So there's been a lot of things that have been happening this year. I've been noticing lots of ITV Corey posts on Twitter. and I have to scroll past them quickly.
Yeah.
I did watch one scene.
No.
Not a scene, but like a behind the scenes scene.
No, you're
so
not
you couldn't
allowed-
tell what was happening.
You're not allowed to do that either.
Well, I didn't have a choice because it was so exciting.
Just save them and watch them.
But I don't
in
know
3
what
weeks.
I don't know what was happening though. Anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's all good. Anyway, poor Steve, right?
Yeah, but
Poor
also,
Steve. But he knew what he was
Steve-
getting into with
Steve,
Tracy.
Exactly.
Tracy's a liability.
She is.
She's a firebrand.
I mean, at least she's not so far murdering people again.
Exactly. So it's progress.
Yeah.
Should we play the theme?
Yes.
Okay. So who am I going to be next episode?
I don't know. Right now, you're still your same. You're still Adam.
Oh. So who am I supposed to be this next episode? No, I was terrible. I was Irish. What
Yep.
happened to me? I'm even from Scottish family.
They're going to kick you out. It's too much.
But
time.
Adam's Scottish accent is more Edinburgh accent, though, I find.
It doesn't matter.
You do yours. I'll get ready for mine.
I want to think that Sally has an aga. I'm going to go put the kettle on the aga to boil because we're going to have some of those lovely biscuits and we're going to sit down and watch and catch up on all the episodes we have to catch up on. No one is sitting in the conservatory until we're all caught up.
Yeah, that's fine. You do you, Sally. That was, I don't know what it says. Adam's Glaswegian
Obscene
brother, cousin. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next episode. Take care of yourselves and all that kind of stuff.